To you all, today we are dealing with linear programming. So first consider the definition of terms. Linear programming. If they say that linear programming simply means the process of finding the minimum and maximum of a linear function. That linear function is called objective function. Process of, if we are finding the minimum and maximum simply means optimum of a certain linear function. That linear function is called objective function, subject to some linear inequalities. So those linear inequalities are called constraints. So that is, we want to find the minimum and maximum of a certain objective function in respect to some certain function, again linear function, which we call constraint. So this linear programming is a mathematical tool. It's one of the mathematical tools in finding the minimum and maximum, that is optimum, or we can say that extrema. So it's one of the tools in mathematics that we use to find the minimum and maximum of a function. But here we are dealing with linear. Linear means if they say that linear equation, that is equation whereby the exponent of the variable is 1, or we say the power of the variable is 1, the highest is 1, something like this. 2x plus 3y, something. This is linear. If it is square, we call it quadratic. But we are talking about linear. When we are finding linear maximum and minimum of a linear function, we use what we call linear programming. And linear programming is one of the applications of linear inequality. When we deal with linear inequality, linear programming is one of the applications. Now another one is decision variables. Decision variables are the variables that will decide the output. So the output of the solution we are talking about. For instance, we are talking about x and y. The x and y are decision variable. So if you want to solve any problem at all, either linear programming or any problem mathematically, we need to define a variable. For instance, if I say that the radius of a circle, I will just say that I'll use a variable for it, which is r, to represent the radius. So it's one that I will use to formulate the problem that will give me something. Another thing is the objective function. The objective function we are talking about here. So that objective function is defined as the objective of making decision. That is, in a linear programming problem or any problem, we need to define our objective function. For instance, okay, this linear programming, the application to business is that maximum and minimum, that is, we want to minimize the cost or we want to maximize our profit. So if you are relating it to this objective function, so if I am to minimize my cost, then my objective function will be cost. If I am to maximize my profit, then my objective function is profit. So we have to define our objective functions too. Another one is constraint. When they say that constraint are the restriction or limitation on the decision variable. So this decision variable, the limitation or restriction of the variable. For instance, now a company wants to produce cake. All the ingredients that are used to produce the cake will be constraints. Not only that, the time in producing it, how much are we buying all those ingredients, they are constraints. And they are the one we should consider before defining our objective function. We need to consider the constraint because they are the one that will tell us. And most actually, we use what people have done before. That means if you want to set up a business, we need to know what people have done on that business before. It will let us to create our objective function and it serves as constraint for us. Also, we have what we call visible region. So visible region is a set of all points satisfying the linear programming constraint. So when we have formulated a constraint, so the set of all points that will satisfy the constraint, that will satisfy this linear equality, is what we call visible region. When we get to linear programming problem, we'll continue that. Another one there is linear programming problem. So the linear programming problem is always of this form. It will be of this form. You can say that maximize or minimize an objective function. It will be given. It will be like this. Maximize or minimize objective function subject to constraints. So that is, we want to maximize our profit or minimize our cost with respect to certain linear equality, which are called constraints. So this is it here, minimize or maximize. This will be, the objective function will look like this. It will look like this, subject to all these inequality. These are inequalities. We have many here. That's why we put dot dot dot. So the inequalities are called constraints, such that x and y are greater than 0. That greater than 0 here simply means they are positive. That is the variables. You know, x and y here are the decision variables. So for the linear programming problem. Now, to formulate the linear programming problem, we need to know some things. And those things are what we call assumptions of linear programming problem. Linear LPPM means linear programming problem. Or we can say that linear programming model is still the same thing, LPM. Now, for the first one, when we are formulating linear programming problem, we are formulating LPP. The first thing we must know that we must consider non-negativity of the variable. That is, the variable here, what I wrote here, must be greater than or equal to 0. That is, the decision variables used must all be assumed positive. So that is the first assumption of linear programming problem. That is, when we are not solving it, we must not get negative. It has to be positive. That is the first assumption. The second assumption of linear programming problem is proportionality. Here we say that the contribution of any decision variable to the objective function is proportional to its value. What we are trying to say is that whatever value we want to use, they must be proportional to each other. For instance, when we say that, let me take something here. For instance, if we say that 2 grams of Milo is 2 grams of Milo cost 4 naira, we have to know what 4 grams of Milo will cost. We have to know that, okay, let's say 4 grams will now cost 8 naira. We have to be sure of this. It has to be proportional to each other. Whatever value we want to use for this variable, for the decision variable, they have to be proportional to each other. So that is just an example. That is just an example of what we mean by proportionality. So once again, okay, let me say that we normally buy 1,000 naira data. They gave us 1.5 gig. So we normally buy 3,000 naira for, let's say, 8 gig. We have to know this, that this one is proportional to this. They are proportional to it. We have to know this. So we cannot just say that, okay, this is how they sell 1.5 gig. This is how to sell 3.8 gig. We have to know it. So they have to be proportional to each other. Another one is additivity. So we say that the decision of the variables are independent of decision variables are independent of each other. Since they are independent of each other, we would say that they have to be addition. This objective function here has to be in addition form. So all these ones can still be minus. This constraint, we can still have minus there, but this objective function has to be plus. That is the reason why we say that the decision variables are independent of each other, and hence objective functions must be in addition form. So that is another one is divisibility. So since we are using a continuous variable, the variables can also be in fraction form. So that means the variable we are using, s, y, may not necessarily be whole number. They can also be in fraction. That is, just can be, and fraction will lead to decimal. I can say that 1.5, something like this. And also certainty, that is the last one. Certainty, the linear, all the things we are using must be, they must be assumed absolute certainty and will not change. So what that simply means is that before we can embark on any business, we need to know how people are doing it, the way people normally do the business. How do you sell? How much do they sell a product? How much do they sell this? All the ingredients, all the constraints are very, very useful. So we need to know. We cannot just jump into business anyhow. So that is the meaning of this certainty. Whatever we are using must be certain. We have to know it. That okay, and it must not change. Because if it change, it will not give us the absolute solution. Now we move to method of solving linear programming problem. Mathematicians have developed so many methods of solving linear programming problems. So we have many. So the one we are considering for the scope of this class is just the graphical method, which is the easiest of them all. So the graphical method, although we have what we call simplex method. This method too is also very important, which use matrix format. But we are considering only the graphical method for the scope of this class. So let's take example on this. Example 1. Minimize this subject to the constraint. This constraint here, these are the constraints. Also, this is non-negativity, s, y is greater than 0. How do we solve this? We'll consider this one. We will say that from, this is less than or equal to. Just say that, use equal to alone. The first thing, after you start from the first one here, you will say that if s is equal to 0, that is, you put s to be 0, what you are going to have left is y equal to 6, because this one is 0. So that means I have found the value of s and I have found the value of y to be 6. You write it like this, 0, 6. 0, 6 means s is 0, y is 6. Also, I have said if s is 0, also you say that if y is 0. So if y is 0, what you are going to have left is x equal to 6. So I have found y and I have found x. So that one will be s, y, s, y, 6, 0. So let's keep that. Now you come to this place. You say from 5s plus 9y is equal to 45. The next one is, you say if s is 0. If s is 0, what you have left is 9y equal to 45. Because this one is 0, as from our assumption here. If you divide both sides by 9 here, you see that 45 divided by 9 will give me 5. So our answer here is s, y, 0, 5. You do the same thing. If you have put s to 0, you put y to 0 too. So if y is now 0, this one will remain 5x. This will leave equal to 45. I will find x here. That is, I will divide both sides by 5. So 45 divided by 5 will give me 9. So I have found y and I have found x. So our answer is s, y. S, y. 9, 0. 9, 0. So I am done with it. So I will now come to the graph. I will sketch a graph in order to know my visible region. Let's sketch the graph. This is x here, y, this is y. Now you need to know what are the values of s. All the left hand side there, they are the values of s. All the right hand side, they are the values of y. So the values of s ranges from 0 to 9, because we have the values are 6 and 9, so it ranges from 0 to 9. So I can just label this thing as 0 to 9. This place is 0. I can say that this place is 3. This place is 6. This place is 9. At least 6 and 9 can show. Also, for y, I have 0 to 6. 6 and 5 are the values. So I can label that one to be 1, 2, 3. You label it anyhow, at least so that the 5 and 6 will just show. This is 6. You now come to this one. The first one says y is. The first one says y is 6. So this is the y is 6. Put it here. The second one says s is 6. This is x is 6. Put it here. So the next thing is you join it to get a straight line. You use a straight something to get it. So I'll do that now. I'll pause the video and do that, but I'm coming. So that means I'm joining these two. Also, I'll come to this one. This one says y is 5. So this is y is 5. And it says x is 9. Y is 5, x is 9. I will come to this place. So I will join these two together too. So let me get a straight something to do it. This is it. So I've joined it. So anytime you want to draw the diagram, make sure. So this is the question again. Solution. So anytime you want to join it, make sure that make sure you use a very straight ruler and try to be, although you cannot be perfect, but try to be perfect. Now, you have joined these lines. You have joined 6 and 6, and we have joined 5 and 9, just like what we have here. The next thing now is we look for the visible region. We have said that visible region is the set of points satisfying the constraint. You can see that we have we plot the constraint on this graph. So we need to know the visible point, the visible region. Normally, so the visible region for minimization will be the one that is close to the origin here. So this is the visible region. So we call this place visible region. Now, we need to know the set of points. For this one now, let me label it as A. This is another point that determines the visible region. This one is not there. This is another point that determines the visible. Okay, let me call this one C. And let me call this point O. Or point D. So for point A here, you can see that y is there. And it's on a straight line. I will write it as 0, 5. That is x is 0 there, y is 5. But for point B, how do we know point B? We need to trace our B to this place. When I trace it, you see that y is approximately 4. There is approximate. We can't get the actual value. And if you want to get the value of B here, you can use something straight to get the value of B. Something straight like this. You just trace it. So when you trace it, so it will be somewhere in this place. It will be somewhere in this place. And how do you know the value? So when you are using a graph sheet, you will know what is there. You'll be able to count it. You'll be able to count it, but you see that it's almost equal to 3. If I pick this half here, the half here is let me say it's 1.5. So this is another 1.5. So that place will have been 1.5 plus 1.5 over 2. So it will have been, so that means here we are going to have B, it is y that is 4, y is here, but for x, 1.5 plus 1.5 over 2, that would have been 2.25 comma 4. So that will be our B. For our C, what we have here is x is on 6, but y, there is no y there, y is 0, and for D, 0, 0, so we don't need this. So if you have determined, these are the this is set of points satisfying the visible region. So if you now want to find the maximization problem, this is the given problem. You come to the objective function. Objective function is given as 10s plus 8y. So anywhere we see s, we put it as 0. This is it, 10x plus 8y. So you begin to test it. Here will be 10 into 0 plus 8 into 5. This will give me 40. The first point gives me 40. The second one, this is 10 into 2.25 plus 8 into 4. So using our calculator, will give me 46.5. I stand to be corrected. Is 54.5. And for this one, I will have 10 into 6 plus 8 into 0. 10 times 6 will give me 60. This is 60. We know that this one will be 0. There's nothing concerned this one about it. So the value we have are 40, 54.5, and 60. So since we are dealing with maximization problem, so in that case, our answer is the maximum here is 60. So in that case, we can just conclude that if it is a decision, if you want to take decision here now, if I want to take decision, let's say it's a product, they want to know how many product of x to get. If I want to translate this question into real life problem, which means that they want to know how many product of x to produce in order to get a maximum profit, subject to this constraint. With what I got here, the interpretation is that if they produce 6 of product x, they will get a maximum profit of 60. But if they produce 2.5, 2.25 and 4 of y, they will get this. But this one gives us maximum profit. So that means if I want to make decision, I will follow this, because I will not need to produce the y, because y gives me 0 here. So producing s and not producing y will give me certain value. So in that case, I can say that producing 6 of x and no y will give maximum profit of 60. So the maximum profit we have here is 60. That will be the maximum. Is the maximum. So the maximum of this function subject to this constraint is 60. So we have successfully found that. Let's take now example 3. This is word problem leading to linear programming. A factory manufactures 2 products, cake and biscuits. It costs 2 naira and takes 3 hours to produce cake. It costs 4 naira and takes 2 hours to produce biscuit. The factory has 220 naira and 150 hours this week to produce these products. If each cake sells for this and biscuit sells for this, how many of each product should be produced? In order to, the first thing is, let us in order to maximize the profit, it's talking about maximization here. So the first thing is that let us first know our decision variable. So let x and y represent it. Let x and y be number of each product. That is each of cake and this. All these things, we can write it in this format. You can write them like this. So let me say that the amount and the time to produce it. So this is cake, this is biscuit. So this is biscuit. Now for the first one, we have been told in the question here that it takes 2 naira amount to produce cake, and it takes 3 hours to produce it. 3 hours, 2 naira. Can you get it like that? The second one says it takes 4 naira and 2 hours. 4 naira and 2 hours to produce it. So the total of this has been given here, that in that week they have 220 naira at hand. So the total money they have here is 220 naira, and the total hours available for them to produce is 150 hours. Now this is what they want to maximize, this amount they sell each cake and each this thing. So I will formulate the linear programming problem by saying maximize. So this will be our objective function. I must state the objective function first. Maximize. What's the objective function? Cake. That is I will say z is equal to 6x plus 7y. So you will now say subject to, so this one will give you what you are looking for, subject to the constraints. This will be the I've told you the ingredients or the things that are involved in making those products are the constraint. So here we are going to have 2x plus 4y is less than equal to 2020. These two. Also for time, I'll take the time too like that. That is 3x plus 2y is equal to 150. Less than equal to 150. S and y is greater than or equal to 0. So I have formulated the problem. For formulating this problem is a mark. For knowing how to formulate it is a mark. So in that case, you need to study the question and know how to formulate it. The second thing is we need to solve this question. But I don't need to solve it because I've considered 2 examples. But when we solve it, I'm going to have. So we are going to have this as the solution. And I have plotted the graph. But you should take note of something. What I did here. You can see that I put x-axis here and I put y-axis. Since it's not a normal graph, so I can decide to put x-axis and y. Just know what you are doing. You can decide to, instead of saying this is x, you can see that this is y-axis. Doesn't mean, because it's just a variable. So, but whenever you are doing it, you need to know what you are doing. Now, this will be the visible region. So this will be the visible region. What are now the visible region? I have, what are the points that bound it? I have point A, I have point B, and I have point C. Now, let me write out the maximization. 6x plus 7y. 6x plus 7y. Now for point A, in our point A, I have, you see here that x is 50 there, and there's no y there. Y is 0, so I'll have 50, 0. That is this one. And for point B, this is point B. I'll trace it down. If I trace it down, I'll trace this one too. But if you look at it there, you see that at that point here, S is 10. Let me quickly write that. S is 10. Y is You see that it's half of this. So that would have been, sorry there, my alarm. Now if I trace it now, so it will have been this. What is in between this is 10. So 45 plus half, 45 to this place is 55. Normally, if it is the middle, here, I will have 45 plus 5, that is 50. But it's not up to the middle. So I can say that, oh, let me approximate it to, let's say, 50. And this is another one here for the visible region. C gives me, in that place, it is Y that is 55. S is 0 there, 55. So we need to substitute them here. So our answer is 6 into 50 plus 7 into 0. And this will be 300. This will be 6 into 10 plus 7 into 50. Now this is 350 plus 60. That is 410. And this is 6 into 0 plus 7 into 55. So it will be 385. So it's this one that gives me the maximum. And the question says we should, how many of each product should be manufactured in order to maximize the profit. So I cannot comment. Since this point gives me the maximum, I will say that manufacturing 10 cakes, that is S is 10, Y is 50. So manufacturing 10 cakes and 50 biscuits will give the maximum profit. So from the question now, we will see that if you manufacture 10 cakes and 50 biscuits, you are going to have a maximum profit of 410. So that solves the question. Let's consider another example. Now, our next example will be an assignment. Consider a chocolate manufacturing company that produces only 2 types of chocolate, A and B. Both chocolates require milk and choco only. To manufacture each product, each unit of A and B, the following quantities are required. Each unit of A requires 1 unit of milk and 3 units of choco. Each unit of B requires 1 unit of milk and 2 units of choco. The company kitchen has a total of 5 units of milk and 12 units of choco. On each sale, the company makes profit of 6 naira and 5 naira per unit of A and B. How many units of A and B should be produced to maximize the company's product? So this is another example, interesting example, just like the example 3. But let me just give you a hint. You are going to finish it yourself. Now, we need to first make it like this. Let's get a table. The table will help us a lot. We have product A and product B. For each product, I have or they put milk and choco. You put milk here, you put choco here. For the first one, 1 unit of milk and 3 units of choco. For A, requires 1 here and 3 here. For B, it requires 1 unit and 2 of choco. And we have been told that the company has a total of 5 units of milk. 5 units of milk total. And 12 units of choco. So what do they want to maximize? They want to maximize this 6 of A and 5 of B. So we only need to say that let X and Y be, let them be decision variables. Okay, decision variables. So what are we going to have? Here will be X plus Y is less than or equal to 5. That is for this. This one will be what? 3x plus 2y is less than or equal to 12. So if you now want to start, you start by saying maximize z equal to, you maximize the profit. This is what you want to maximize, and this is the profit, 6 of x and 5 of y. So it'll be 6x plus 5y. You now say subject to this constraint, x plus y is less than 5, and then 3x plus 2y is less than or equal to 12. You put this, x and y is greater than 0. So I have helped you out. Then you need to finish it yourself. So the second assignment is this. This is second assignment. So have a good day.